Racing Charlotte Motor Speedway, where 27 drivers are ready to strap in and put the pedal down, trying to win tonight's Corvega All-Star Race. And win is the only goal tonight. There's no points, just bragging rights up for grabs here. And if tonight's race is anything like we saw in the showdown a little while ago, we are in for one exciting race. What's it going to take for somebody to win here tonight? Well, you have to be aggressive, no doubt about it. This is a short race, only 110 laps, so there's not a lot of time to get to the front. Factor in the 2 mandatory pit stops where pit crews have to be on their game. Any mistake can be costly in trying to win tonight. Looking through the field, is there a driver that stands out as a favorite tonight? Maybe pole winner Lewis Black or outside pole winner John Williams? Based on the way this season has gone, I've got to say Philip Bombori's the number 4 car. He's got the best stats of anyone in the season with an average finish of 4.3. He's finished at 100% of the laps so far this season, and he's finished in the top 5 in 10 of the 12 races that we've run points-wise. With stats like that, it's going to be hard to beat him. Boris will roll off from the 13th position here tonight and is among 23 drivers who have won in either the previous or current season, joined by one previous winner of this event. Joining us from the showdown are Nick Kustak, who won Segment 1, Trent Varner, winner of Segment 2, and Urban Jacklin, who won the fan vote. They make up a 27-car field, the largest in this event's history. Who will score the big win tonight? We're about to find out. Let's go trackside for the Command the Fire engines.
Drivers, start those engines!
Make sure everything gets tight there, Jim. Cool. Guys, going to be coming to you here in a sec. Big day, big day. Let's make the most of it. Good luck.
We'll line them up for the green flag after the... Here's tonight's starting lineup for the All-Star Race. Lewis Black won the pole, stole it as the last car to qualify, and he starts alongside John Williams. Joseph Tanner, Josh Snyder on row 2, Matt Adams and Ben Smith round out the top 6. Brendan Wolkowitz, Joe Reynolds, row 4. In row 5, Cindy Warner and Hunter Richardson. Warner, the only defending winner in this race that hasn't won in previous seasons. Joshua Wilkinson, TJ Howard on row 6. Row 7, Philip Bombori is the points leader this season, alongside Kirby Amons. Nick Dilbeck starts in row 8 alongside Fred Martin. Casey Blanford, Michelle Mossler, Joe Gibbs Racing teammates start 9th. Jay Fluke, the defending champion of the series, rows off from the row of 10. And Blake Turner in row 11. Row 12, the only rookie in the field, Maria Jacoby and Ben Malik in the 28th. And then for our showdown winners, Nick Kustak and Trent Varner. And rounding out the field, Urban Jacklin in the 27th. Let's take a look at the race analysis here for this All-Star Race. The race is 110 laps, made up of 5 segments. Segments 1 through 4 are 25 laps apiece. Caution laps count. A mandatory pit stop follows segments 2 and 4. The final segment is 10 laps of green flag racing. Caution laps don't count. As for the pit stops, after segment 1, everybody must pit for 4 tires. The second mandatory pit stop is where things get interesting. The field is reset in order by average finish of the 4 segments, and they will come to pit road, and teams must stop and do some sort of work on the car. What they do is up to them, so we could see a big mixed bag of strategies going into the final segment of the race. As we take a look at the rest of the cars in the field, we'll cycle through our 6 onboard cameras tonight and go to pit road for some final thoughts, starting with Gavin Jones. Kevin?
Championship leader Philip Von Boris starts 13th tonight, and while he starts mid-pack, look for him to quickly make his way towards the front tonight. He's been super consistent at mile-and-a-half tracks this season, and being the only driver with 2 wins, he'll be the biggest threat in the field. Another driver worth watching is defending series champion Jade Fluke. He starts in the 19th position tonight. His first career win in the 600 last season propelled him to the chase and ultimately the championship. Tonight, he looks to repeat what he did here a season ago.
Lewis Black will lead the field to the green flag tonight after stealing the pole position at the last minute from John Williams last night in qualifying. Can the Richmond winner score the win in his first All-Star appearance since Season 3? He's got a fast car and a fast pit crew to help him. To his outside is John Williams, who is making his 5th All-Star start tonight. Williams hasn't won a race this season, but has top 10 finishes in 3 of the 4 races at mile-and-a-half tracks. Could tonight be the night? Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Dennis. Crowd is on their feet. 27 drivers about to go green here at the All-Star Race for the Corvega Cup Series. Lewis Black, John Williams lead them to the green, and we are underway here at Charlotte. Straight away, one car peels out of line. That's Cindy Warner in the number 7. Maybe an issue there. But meanwhile, up front, it's Lewis Black and John Williams living side by side off turn 2. Williams gets the advantage off of turn 4, come around to lead lap 1. And we saw all race long in the showdown earlier tonight that outside lane might be the one with the advantage. Sure enough, it gives Williams the lead here on the first lap. Lewis Black back to second. That's Josh Snyder in the 22 in the third car. Joseph Tanner in the number 3 runs 4th. The battle for 5th between Ben Smith and Matt Adams. Take Ben Smith and Joseph Tanner in the number 3 battling there side by side for 5th. It's going to be a good race here. I think everybody's got pretty much the best cars that they could possibly bring here for this race. And we saw in practice a lot of good side-by-side action, so it'll be interesting to see how this thing plays out. Josh Snyder looking to the inside of Lewis Black down in the turn number 1. And again, that outside line prevails. Black stays in second. And it's Joseph Tanner in the 3 looking to the inside now for that position. And Matt Adams looking to the inside of Ben Smith for the 5th spot. It's a single file for the first few cars here as Josh Snyder tries to look to the inside of Lewis Black once again. Down the turn 1. Yeah, I think in the early part of this run, outside lane is going to be the strongest that we see here, so it's going to be really interesting to see if that changes throughout the race. We didn't really see it change in the showdown. The outside lane remained pretty dominant. There was a couple of good passes, particularly for the lead that occurred on the inside lane in the showdown, but most of those big passes were made up there on that outside lane. 6 laps in, it's Joseph Tanner there in the number 3 car, heading in the 4th spot. Battle for 5th behind him goes to Ben Smith and Matt Adams. Dennis, got news on Warner?
Warner started 9th and dropped to the back of the field on lap 1 because of an issue with the car. I talked with crew chief Tommy Baldwin, and he said they will probably be on pit row at the end of the segment to diagnose the problem. Currently, Warner is riding around at the back of the field to get to the end of the segment.
Thanks, Dennis. John Williams continues to lead. Lewis Black in second. That's Josh Snyder running 3rd. Joseph Tanner, Ben Smith, those 2 teammates running 4th and 5th. Adams looks to the inside down in turn 1. Can't quite make the pass. And will fall into the clutches of Joe Reynolds in the number 21 behind him. Ben Smith, he's got the top spot as far as career wins in the Cup Series. He's got 10 wins, tied with John Williams. He might be a factor here in this race in a 31 car. Adams in the 48. On the outside lane, he's got 8 wins in this series, including 2 last season that qualified him for this race, but he has struggled here recently where 5 of his last 6 finishes have been outside the top 30. So hoping to turn that around here tonight. Yeah, that's one of those situations where they have had the speed, they've been running really well, but they just haven't been able to put these finishes together. Especially through the short track swing we had earlier this season between Bristol, Martinsville, and Richmond. Up front, Lewis Black on the back bumper. John Williams might be trying to challenge for the lead. 11 laps into segment number 1. Not going to get there yet. And this is just like what we saw in toward the end of that showdown, although these guys are a little bit more single file. I think with as long as this race is, we might see these guys kind of try and ride around for a little bit. Things might begin to get a little dicier as we get towards the ends of the race, particularly later stages. Josh Snyder to the inside of Lewis Black, trying to get that second spot. And once again, the outside line prevails with Black driving away. Side by side now for 4th with Matt Adams. The inside of Joseph Tanner will take that spot with ease, this time on the inside. And Tanner looks like he might have an issue there. That car got way up the track down there in 1 and 2 about last time by, and he's losing another spot this time to his teammate Ben Smith. Snyder and Black side by side once again off turn 2. This time Snyder able to hold his own. Might just be able to pick up position as they head down the backstretch. Snyder won our last mile-and-a-half race, which was also our most recent points-paying race at Kansas in the last week. So we've been told he's got the same car, or same parts here this week, but unable to complete that pass on Lewis Black and fall back to 3rd. This is a gaggle of cars here. Joe Reynolds in the 21. Kirby Amons in the 1. Joshua Wilkinson at 85 to the inside of Vernon Wolkowitz in the 24. This is a battle back in the 6th through 10th positions as they come around. Complete lap 14. Snyder again to the inside of Lewis Black for the second spot. He's got a little bit of help from Matt Adams on the inside. Can he complete the pass into turn 3 this time? Not quite. Still side by side for second. And all the while these guys are side by side, that 88 car of John Williams is just going to check out on these guys. Running about half a second now over Lewis Black in second. Adams to the outside of Ben Smith for 4th. They'll take over that spot. No change in the top 4. Ben Smith battling for 5th with Joe Reynolds and Kirby Amons in that position. What about Joseph Tanner in the number 3 car? He has fallen all the way back to the 9th position in this race. And speaking to Tanner, let's go down to Gavin Jones on pit road.
Tanner has been saying on the radio the last few laps that the car is about a 12 tight out of 10. They are considering a pit stop at the end of the segment to work on the car. He continues to fall back now, barely running inside the top 10 as we close in to the end of the segment.
Thank you, Gavin. Adams looking to the inside once again for 3rd on Josh Snyder. Not quite able to make the pass here as they exit turn 4. Snyder holds on to 3rd for now. And I think this is going to be one of these situations where everybody, again, I think everybody's going to just kind of ride around for a little bit. And we might see things pick up toward the end of the race. Battle for lead in turn 3. Lewis Black to the inside of John Williams. Can't complete the pass though. Williams gets the momentum up there on the outside. And will keep the lead. And caution is out. Trouble turn 4. Cindy Warner has gone around. here at the 20th lap of segment 1. Remember, caution laps count in the first 4 segments. And let's take a look at what has put us under caution involving Cindy Warner's number 7. It's like she gets up the racetrack here and just gets out of shape and goes around. Kind of hard to say from that angle because the car was already sideways. Might have had some help. Accident to the wall. And the winner, Irvin Jacklin, just missed that there in the yellow car, the 27. See it again there. That car's already sideways getting down here into turn 3, and around it goes. Q-Stack there in the 47 just misses it. Here it is again. Looks like she just got loose all by herself going into turn 3. And that was enough. Send that car around. So under caution, 20 laps into tonight's All-Star Race. And we will be back after this to line them up for the restart. John Williams leads Lewis Black, Josh Snyder, Matt Adams, and Ben Smith. By the way, this is just an ad break. I don't have actual ads, so blank screen for now. Back at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, about to line them up. Once again, for the restart, there will be just 3 laps to go. In segment number 1, Cindy Warner spun on turn 3 and backed it into the wall. She has pitted and returned to the race. Still on the lead lap. So for the restart, with 3 to go in segment number 1, John Williams and Lewis Black will lead them to the green. Josh Snyder, Matt Adams, Ben Smith, and Joe Reynolds, the top 6, as they come back around to take the green flag. Here we go. Big jump down into turn number 1 for Williams. He'll take over the top spot. Lewis Black falls in line to second. They're 3 wide mid-pack. Philip Bonbori's there on the inside of Kirby Amons and Joshua Wilkinson, where that's at. Snyder to the inside of Matt Adams for second, or third rather. And they're 3 wide behind them, 2 rows of 3 wide. Oh, Reynolds got into the wall there off of turn 4, just about wadded up the field, but they all hang on to it. Williams with the lead. Now Adams trying to fight back for second on the inside. Snyder there in 4th. This guy's trying to get by here at the last second to try and get up here and steal this win, but I don't think they're going to get to Williams at the 88 car this segment. We'll come down to the white flag this time by Williams out in front. Can Lewis Black do anything with them in the end of segment 1 in the turn 1? He's going to try. He's right there on the back bumper of him. He could possibly get by him if he ducks out of line here on the back straightaway. It's going to be two-way. Adams going to try and make that move instead from 3rd. Looks to the inside of Lewis Black for that spot. Can he keep it as they come off turn 4? To the checkered flag for segment 1. John Williams will score the victory. Lewis Black, Matt Adams, 2nd and 3rd. Josh Snyder and Ben Smith round out the top 5. We'll be back from Charlotte in just a few moments as we line them up for segment number 2. Welcome back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, where we are about to begin segment number 2. If you're just joining us, John Williams was the leader of every lap in segment number 1. Each segment is 25 laps. For the first 4, segment 5, again, it's 10 laps to decide the finish of the race. Nobody came to pit road except for Cindy Warner during that caution, so actually a couple of other cars did come to pit road. Ray Jacoby, Kirby Amons, Ben Malik, Blake Turner, along with Warner and Nick Kustak pitted. Most only took fuel. Green flag back in the air. We're underway for segment number 2. John Williams with the push from his teammate Matt Adams in third will go and take over the race lead, and Adams moves to second. That was not a great restart for Lewis Black there in the 78 car on the outside. Falls back to third and is about to lose third to Josh Snyder in the 22. 3 wide behind him again, but they get it sorted out before they get off in turn 4. Spawn Bories that was on the outside of Ben Smith and TJ Howard, trying to hold on to that spot, and was able to tuck back in line before hitting the ball off turn 4 like we've seen so many drivers do tonight in the showdown. Williams and Adams out front, Snyder to the inside of Lewis Black to try and take over that third spot. It's able to hold his own. And so far, I think that 22 car is probably one of the better, at least one of the better Fords in the field. They've been really strong on that inside lane. Still can't quite get past the 78 car, but he's been putting up a fight for sure. Ben Smith in the 31, going to give the 22 of Snyder a push down to turn 3. And that will get him almost clear of the 78, but that 78's fighting back on the outside. Great battle for that position there in third. Ben Smith, he's just trying to find a way by both of them. Snyder and Black still battling for that third spot. Ben Smith back behind him. And TJ Howard in number 2 and 21 of Joe Williams trying to enter the picture here. And Philip Von Bories, we talked about him during the pre-race. He is currently in the 8th position, has moved up from the 13th spot where he started. I think that 4 car is going to be one to watch too. I mean, they've been really strong on the mountain tracks. Won at Atlanta earlier this season. His other win came at April Super Speedway. He's the only driver to have 2 wins so far this season. In a thrilling finish to that April race, he won. So far, the only fuel mileage race of the season. He made it across the line. Leah Reed managed to finish second while running out of fuel. And it's quite the finish there. Should not have a fuel issue here for this race tonight, though. As Snyder continues to try and get past Lewis Black for that third spot. These guys have been going at it for a couple laps here. I mean, this is one intense battle. He's got his teammate TJ Howard there in the 2 right behind him. That Wood Brothers Penske affiliated car, the 21 of Joe Reynolds right there behind him. Bories back there in 7th position. While up front, Williams continues to lead Adams for the top 2 spots. Yeah, Williams really showing some strength here early in that 88 car, and that they haven't had the results on the mile-and-a-half tracks, or really most races this season. Been finishing well, but they just haven't been able to put together the finishes to get a win or 2, so their eligibility for this race came from last year's Kansas race, which is Williams' last win, some 7 or 8 races from the end of the season. Battle for the lead. Matt Adams going to try and take it from his teammate. Can't quite get it done there. You see his stats. Gavin, you got more on Adams?
Adams started the race in the 5th position and has been quiet on the radio since the drop of the green flag in segment number 1. Crew Chief Chad Knaus says that he likes what he's seen so far, not expecting them to make any adjustments for the mandatory stop here at the end of the segment.
Thank you, Gavin. Looks like TJ Howard in the 2 just got by Philip Von Bories, or tried to hold him off there in turn 3 and 4. He's on to that position for now. And it's interesting with this package that So far, John Williams has not been able to drive away, like we saw Jay Fluke do in the Coke 600 last season, like we saw Kenny Turner do in this race a year ago. And hasn't quite been able to get away from it, but I think he probably wanted to. And Adams has been about 2/10 of a second behind him here for the majority of this segment so far. We've reached the halfway point of segment 2. But those two have kind of driven away from Lewis Black. They've gapped him by about 3/4 of a second. And as they come back off the turn 4 back to line, late lap 12. Joe Reynolds to the inside of TJ Howard for the 5th position. Now you got Lewis Black trying on the inside of Matt Adams. Couldn't get that position. But look at Philip Von Voorhees here in the 4, outside of Joshua Wilkinson for that position. We'll move him up to the 7th there. Wilkinson back to 8th, Ben Smith and Hunter Richardson battling for the 9th position in that group. Josh Snyder trying once again to get to the inside of Lewis Black. He got a little push from his teammate TJ Howard. He'll go by him. Howard will get by him. And so will Joe Reynolds. All three of them able to clear the 78 there off of turn 3 and 4. I almost wonder if maybe the 78 might have got up into the wall or something there off of turn 2, because he's lost now 4 spots as Philip Von Voorhees easily drives by him on the inside. Now Joshua Wilkinson will try to pick up that position. And we'll try and find out more on what's going on with the 78 here in just a moment. Let's move Snyder to 3rd, Howard to 4th, Reynolds to 5th, Philip Von Voorhees up to 6th. And Lewis Black went from 3rd all the way back to the 8th position. Let's go down to pit road and Dennis Mercer Road for some information on Lewis Black.
Pole winner Lewis Black started the segment in the 2nd position, but the car has slowly faded since the start of the race, now running just barely inside the top 10. Look for the 78 team to make several adjustments at the halfway pit stop at the end of segment 2.
Thank you, Dennis. And now Snyder looking to the inside of Matt Adams as they head for turn 1. And that battle for 2nd will be postponed for just a moment as Snyder falls back in line to 3rd. As he did that, here comes TJ Howard trying to take advantage of that awesome momentum there. Joe Reynolds in the 21 right there, as well as Philip Von Voorhees in the 4. Come around to complete lap 18. 25 in segment number 2. Snyder again tries to get to the inside of Adams. Can he clear him? Not quite. He tried it and just couldn't get there. He's trying to fight that inside line so bad here in this 22 car. Like we've seen in the showdown, that outside lane has been strong with TJ Howard doing right now. But the big question mark is, can anybody make that inside lane work? Snyder in the 22, going to be the driver to try it. He'll have inside of Matt Adams in the turn 1. Reynolds in the 21 trying to make something happen there as well. He's just trying to give him a little push. He's just trying to give him a little bit of help. So far it hadn't worked. Snyder drives it down into turn 3 this time, but still can't make it stick. Adams fights back on that outside lane. You see Joe Reynolds in that 21 car. He jumped up there to the outside lane now. He'll try and go to the outside of Josh Snyder for that position. Howard in the 2 trying to follow in line behind the 21. Not quite there yet, so they'll all line up on the back straightaway once again. Philip Von Voorhees has moved his way up to the 6th position in that number 4 car. tucked in line behind TJ Howard. It's going to be interesting to see, can the 22 get by the 48, or are they going to run out of time here? They've been caution free through segment 1, or rather segment 2. Segment 1 we had a spin for Cindy 1. But so far things have been pretty tame at this point. Just a lot of hard battles, hard racing for position here as they come down to 2 to go in this segment. Snyder looking to the inside again on Matt Adams. This time he might be able to clear him, not quite yet. Adams gets back by him on the outside. Here comes Reynolds, trying to stick his nose in there, trying to make it 3-car battle for second. And meanwhile, race leader John Williams is loving this, as he's driving away. Quarter of a second ahead last time by. He'll be a little bit further ahead this time, as we come to 2 to go in segment 2. I think Snyder can get by. He's just got to drive it down into turn 3 like he did a couple laps ago, but he's got to hope that the car sticks down there on the bottom, and unfortunately he just lost that 4th or 3rd spot to his team affiliated car, Joe Reynolds, in 21. Remember, the average finish of each segment determines the lineup for that final pit stop after segment 4, as we take the white flag. John Williams out in front, Joe Reynolds in the 21 trying to steal second from Matt Adams. Can he do it? It's going to be hard for them to get by him. I think these guys are going to try it down here in the turn 1. Side by side for second, Adams and Reynolds for that position. John Williams will win segment 2 and has led every lap so far tonight. Adams crosses the line ahead of Reynolds in second. Snyder in 4th. TJ Howard will round out the top 5. As we come to a close, we'll be back in time for pit stops after this. Cars on pit road as we get ready for the first of 2 mandatory pit stops.
Top corner of the screen, John Williams has been happy with the car so far tonight, so they don't plan to make any adjustments, just 4 tires and fuel for the 88. Meanwhile, in the 22 pit, Snyder has said the car is a little tight off corner exit, so they'll raise the track bar slightly in addition to 4 tires and fuel. Gavin?
21 Wood Brothers machine. They'll change 4 tires as well, and they'll go to work on the right side bodywork just a little bit. After he hit the wall of turn 4 at the end of segment 1, he is down and away.
Josh Snyder wins the race off pit road. His teammate TJ Howard second, Von Voorhees third. John Williams loses a ton of spots on this round of pit stops, and that is not good for them. Yeah, I think they had a little bit of trouble there on changing tires there on pit road, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. So Snyder leads them down the back straightaway. We'll be back in just a moment to line them up for segment number 3. Welcome back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, where we are just about to begin segment number 3 of the Corvega All-Star Race. After that mandatory 4-tire pit stop, Joe Reynolds, or rather Josh Snyder in the 22, won the race off pit road. He'll be starting alongside teammate TJ Howard, Philip Von Voorhees, Joshua Wilkinson on row 2, Lewis Black and Ben Smith in row number 3. Fred Martin, John Williams round out the top 8, and Matt Adams, Trent Varner round out the top 10 there. Good even restart for these two up at the front of the field. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out after this pit stop. The pit stop allows everybody to kind of regroup and make adjustments, and you see right now Snyder in the 22, the race leader, but he's under fire quick from Philip Von Voorhees in number 4. Snyder able to pull ahead. Von Boys and TJ Howard second and third to battle there. And Dennis, what happened to John Williams on that pit stop?
Guys, the reason for the long pit stop was due to a couple issues on the left front tire. First, the tire changer couldn't get the wheel on entirely, so that took an extra second or two, and then he had to go back and tighten one of the lug nuts before setting him back on the track.
Thanks, Dennis. It's a tough break for the 88 team. They bled that back for the first half of the race. Now in the second half, they're kind of having to fight their way back through the field to try and get back up there. And we've seen already tonight how hard it is for just about anybody to make a pass, and especially when they're kind of mired back in traffic. You have to have that car set up just right to be able to do that. And we've seen again the outside lane just be so dominant there as far as being able to fend off challenges for position. You see Josh Snyder continue to lead here. Philip Von Voorhees, he tried to get to his inside there off of turn 2 last lap. So Snyder leads, Von Voorhees back to second, then it's TJ Howard in third. Lewis Black and Joshua Wilkinson the top 5 at the moment. This thing's kind of settled down here after the restart. If you're just joining us, we've had one caution for an incident on the track, which was Cindy Warner back in segment number 1. Got loose into turn 3 and backed it into the turn 3 wall. We have been caution-free other than the segment breaks thus far. Pretty surprising. We've had a couple incidents tonight where guys have gotten into the wall and somehow or another they all hang on to it. We saw Joe Reynolds do it there at the end of segment 1. Segment 1 also had a couple of other guys get into the wall in segment 2, so wouldn't be surprised to see that become a problem at some point tonight. Snyder back to the outside of Philip Von Voorhees, trying to take over that lead once again by the 4. He is just not quite there yet. He'll try it again on the inside. And that just goes to show just how strong the 22 car is, particularly up on that outside lane. He just drove right on by the 4 car, left him behind, and now here comes TJ Howard trying to take over the second spot once again. But again, tries it to the inside. If he would maybe try on the outside, perhaps they could get by him. It's possible. I mean, they obviously had some passes to the inside. You see Lewis Black trying now for the third on Howard, but can't quite seem to get there. It seems to be the case with everybody on that inside line. He's looking again to the inside of Howard, or rather Snyder. And that is still the battle for the race lead. I mean, these guys have been going back and forth for the lead here for really since the green flag dropped for segment 3. You see Lewis Black in the 78 after that pit stop. He found himself back inside the top 5. Now under fire from Ben Smith in the 31 car. And that is again a position that Lewis Black's able to hold on to for now. Voorhees going to try it again, maybe in turn 1 this time. I mean, look, he's been trying ever since the green flag. If he keeps going to the inside of the 22, though, I don't know if he can get by him. He might be able to... Maybe he can wear the tires out on the 22 and use that to his advantage by forcing them up the outside. He's going to try to get in 3. Almost clear, but he couldn't quite do it. And Snyder will pull ahead once again off of turn 4. And really, these two have been the best on the mile-and-a-half tracks this season. Snyder doesn't really have as many good finishes to show. He's had some trouble in some of the races, but he's just quietly sat in the top 10 for most of them. Von Voorhees, of course, won at Atlanta. He's finished in the top 10 in all but one race this season. And in that one race, he still finished in the top 20. Yeah, this 4 car has an average finish of 4, so it's no surprise that he's up here battling for the lead and trying to take it from him, and he still can't do it. And with each attempt, you gotta wonder, will the 2 of Howard, will the 78 of Lewis Black, or will Ben Smith in the 31 maybe sneak up here and maybe steal the position from both of them? And we saw that in the showdown a couple of times with Nick Cusack, the winner of segment 1, and with Dallas Whitaker almost getting the win in segment 2 in the showdown. So it wouldn't surprise me to see something like that too. Single file nose to tail, they are right there, all within striking distance with 14, soon to be 14 laps completed in segment number 3. Had somebody go through the grass here on the front straight. I'm not sure what happened there. We stayed green, no issues. Snyder still holding on to that top spot. You almost got to wonder if the 4 car is going to try something getting into either turn 3. Here he goes again, going to try it down here into turn 3 once again. Still can't get it. Lewis Black kind of fell back a little bit there, so he's not right on the bumper, and now here comes Howard there trying to get back to his inside. And you see Black just drive away Howard up there on the outside lane, and he will hold on to 3rd as Howard falls into the clutches of Ben Smith for that 4th spot. But the battle right now continues to kind of relax right now. Ben Smith to the inside of TJ Howard, that's for 4. John Williams has moved his way up to the 6th spot after the issues on pit road during that mandatory pit stop after segment 2. On Voorhees again to the inside of Snyder, and this time he tried, and he finally gets past Snyder and just about got into him coming off of turn 4. Snyder trying to fight back on the outside line, just can't quite get there this time though. And new leader, Philip Von Voorhees in number 4, the 2-time winner of the season, the only multiple race winner this season, is now the leader here in the All-Star Race. And now the work begins for the 22 of Snyder to try and chase him down and do the same thing. Question is, does he have the ability to do that, or has he used up his tires in this segment? Well, Lewis Black's going to try and make it a 3-car battle. He's back there in 3rd, right on the back bumper of Snyder once again. Will he try to pull out a line this time? Doesn't look like it. And of course, Lewis is coming off of that win a few weeks ago at Richmond, ending a 111 race winless streak in that 78 car. Yeah, I think if anybody, we've had so many different winless streaks ended this year. You know, Josh Wilkinson ended one, Lewis Black ended one. Heck, even Ben Smith with Bristol. Gavin, you got a report on pit road?
Von Voorhees started in the race from the 13th position and has steadily made his way to the front of the pack tonight, a place that they have been quite familiar with so far this season. Philip has been quiet on the radio since his pit stop back at halfway. The team feels like they are in a great spot for these final 2 segments.
Thank you, Evan. Yeah, I mean, the 4 has been probably the strongest car in the field this season. He leads the points. In fact, even though this is a non-points event, going into the Coke 600 for the next race, he'll have a 99-point lead over Blake Turner, who is 2nd in the standings. Turner himself has won a race this season, earlier this year at Martinsville. Can't help but think as we come down to 3 laps to go in this segment, can Josh Snyder in that 22 maybe get by the 4 of Von Voorhees and steal the win back? It's going to be hard to do at this point. 3 to go in this segment. Voorhees leads. Snyder in second. Lewis Black in third. Ben Smith in fourth. That's TJ Howard in the number 2, running in 5th. John Williams in 6th. The rest of the top 10, Joshua Wilson, Trent Varner, the segment 2 showdown winner, is in 8th. And Joe Reynolds and Hunter Richardson round out the top 10 as we come down to 2 laps to go in segment number 3. Look at Lewis Black. He drives it down there in the turn 1 side by side with Snyder. Just can't quite make the pass. And fall back in line here for third. For the moment, he actually held his own there on the outside. He'll try it again in turn 3. Still can't complete the pass. Now he'll lose all that ground and fall back in line. White flag for Philip Von Voorhees. 1 more to go to end segment 3. It's been a good race. It's been nice and clean. These guys have been racing each other really hard. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out if the intensity starts to ratchet up here toward the end. Philip Von Voorhees leads them off turn number 4. He'll come down to the start-finish line, and he will win segment 3 after a hard-fought battle most of the segment with Josh Snyder, the runner-up, Lewis Black third, Ben Smith, TJ Howard. Round out your top 5. We'll be back after this to round them up for segment 4. Back at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, segment 4 about to begin here. After this segment, the field will line up based on the average finish of the first 4 segments of this race and make a mandatory pit stop. What they do on that pit stop is up to the teams. They could change 4 tires, they can take fuel, they could do both, but they have to do something to the car in the time they are on pit road. They can't just drive through pit road, basically. And so it'll be interesting to see what kind of strategy we get at the end of this segment. Philip Von Voorhees won segment 3, so he'll lead them down for segment 4. And a little contact there with Joe Reynolds and John Williams on the restart. That was close, I tell you what. That 88 car just outdoored the 85 Joshua Wilkinson on that restart. Everybody kept it clean. We talked about the intensity beginning to ramp up. It wouldn't be surprising to see some things start to happen here. Von Voorhees and Lewis Black, the top 2 after this restart. Snyder back to 3rd, now back to 4th. Joe Reynolds just about passed 3 cars through the grass on the inside in the trioval. As they go down the turn 1, he'll hit the apron, slide up the track. That car gets sideways. He saves it. Everybody saves it off of turn 2. We stay green. More contact now, and Reynolds goes around. That's what we were just talking about, this race starting to ramp up in intensity. Surprisingly, we haven't had a caution, though. We stay green after all that. Reynolds got into turn 1. The car walked up the racetrack, got into the wall, and spun. And with the help of Matt Adams, he straightened it out, but doesn't seem like that was the only thing there. Yeah, somebody else got into him and turned him around here. We'll have to take a look at this here. Here's a replay. See, he's already started there. He got up into the wall, spun around, and it looks like him and Brendan Wolkowitz got together on the back straightaway. Wolkowitz and Reynolds have been rivals before. Here's another angle. And you see, after he hit the apron down there into turn 1, he just slides up the racetrack and it gets loose, gets out from under him, slides down. Thankfully, Matt Adams was there because that straightened him out. It looked like all was good up until right here when he gets collected by Brendan Wolkowitz. There's the contact with the apron that shoots him up the racetrack. He'll hit the wall. And you know, it almost looks like the same thing that happened to Rob Skinner in the showdown. That's exactly the same thing, except this time he didn't have, or this time he had a car to stop him from going completely around and bringing out a caution. At least with that first incident, Everybody straightens it out, and it looks like Brendan Wolkowitz comes along, and those two just kind of get together right there, and that sends the 21 around into the inside wall. This is the second incident of the race, but we stay green. Here's a look from Matt Adams' perspective. See right there, you see how it gets up the racetrack. No real where to go for him, and that could have been big right there for a lot of those guys. So we remain under green. Some 7 laps into the race, the top 10 have broken away because of that incident. And the field is kind of straightened out for the moment. Voorhees continues to lead. Snyder's trying to work by Lewis Black there in second. Let's go down to Gavin Jones on pit road, who's got a report on Joe Reynolds.
Reynolds has managed to get the car going again. He's running about 7 seconds behind the leaders. He did say he's going to try to stay out and stay on the lead lap and then fix the car during a pit stop at the end of this segment. He also said that the damage doesn't seem to be hurting the speed of the car. It will be interesting to see how this affects the lineup for the final stop and where he will line up as a result.
That's absolutely right. Remember, the final pit stop lineup is determined by the average finish, which Joe Reynolds has been in the top 10 for all 3 of the prior segments, so it'll be interesting to see just how many positions he potentially lose as a result of that incident. And another thing I find interesting is that they haven't really lost much speed in that car because he hit that wall a ton. But he hit it pretty good. I don't know what they're going to end up doing, but it'll be interesting to see whether they can fix that car and get him back out there or not. Reynolds remains on the racetrack after that incident. He's not coming to pit road, and as Gavin reported, doesn't plan to, as it still has speed according to Reynolds. Philip Bonbori's out in front. Lewis Black now second on the racetrack, and then his Penske teammates TJ Howard and Josh Snyder battling for the 3rd spot, while Joshua Wilkinson and Ben Smith battled for the position behind them there for 5th. You know, it's unfortunate. John Williams, who lost all those spots on that last mandatory pit stop, he's still mired back in that 6th position. Just can't seem to find the speed to get back up to the front. Definitely seems like clean air really helped the 88 machine really going. Led the first 50 laps of tonight's race. It's all the top. It's basically the top 10 right there, all drafting off of one another. There's Lewis Black looking for the inside on Philip Bonbori's once again, trying to take over that race lead. And once again, he just can't quite get there. Now he'll fall into the clutches of the Penske cars, with Snyder and Howard battling for those positions. There for a moment, it looked like Hunter Richardson thought about taking it 3 wide down here on the back straightaway. We got a gaggle of cars right here from about 5th on back. Ben Smith, Josh Wilkinson, Hunter Richardson, all these guys are kind of wadded up here at the back of this group. And all the impact racing that we've seen here in the front 10 has allowed Urban Jacklin to kind of close the gap there in 11th. He'll continue to close that gap here, it looks like, this lap. And then Matt Adams back in 48. He is running in the 12th position. A little bit of that right front nose damage. And it looks like he's actually closing on that lead draft as well. Lewis Black and TJ Howard battling side by side for the top spot, or 2nd spot rather, and Howard will take the position away from him. Let's go down to...
Howard started this race back in the 12th position and said on the radio a few moments ago that the car is the best it's been all night as he challenges Philip Bonbori's for the race lead.
Thank you, Dennis. It's been a good battle up here for the front of the field, but Von Voorhees is able to hold on right now. Lewis Black, wow, look at the pack. Or he just drove it down into turn 3 and 4. Took over the second spot for a moment, but Howard gets him at the line. It would have been for second if they had finished the segment at that point, but so far, still got a couple more laps to go. And not only did he drive it by the 78, but he's also going to try and take the lead from Philip Von Voorhees here, and just about did it there. He just dove it down into turn 3 that time. Von Voorhees still holding the advantage though, but Howard trying to fight back. Number 2 of Howard prevail here in this stage of the race. Lewis Black is going to try it once again. He's going to right on the back bumper. He pulls down to the inside. Dives it down into turn 3 like he did a couple laps ago. Still side by side off turn 4. And in a tight battle for position. And Von Voorhees here, Von Voorhees is just loving this because he's out here, he's able to pull away a little bit. Although with the way these cars are set up, we haven't seen anybody really pull more than about half a second ahead of the field out here, and Von Voorhees might just have the biggest lead that we've seen all night right now. That time I'll cross the line 3/10 of a second back to Lewis Black in the 78 car, which isn't really a big lead at all. Wilkinson in the 85 now looks to the inside of Ben Smith, going to try and take over the 5th spot. But instead, tucks back in line for 6th. Meanwhile, Hunter Richardson has gotten by John Williams for that position, and Williams finds himself back in the 8th spot. We talked about that pit stop earlier in the race, and we talked about it at the start of the race. You can't have issues on pit road, and that just goes to show that that's exactly what we mean. You can't have issues on pit road. See, now he finds himself, instead of leading, he finds himself back in the 8th spot and has not been able to make much forward progress. He's been as high as 6th since the segment 2 start, or pit stop. Just hasn't been able to get up past that. 4 laps to go in segment 4. Philip Von Voorhees is the race leader. TJ Howard still trying to run him down from 2nd. As the battle for 3rd heats up again for a moment. Lewis Black and Josh Snyder. Ben Smith back there in the 5th spot. Now Black will look to the inside of TJ Howard for the 2nd spot. Can't quite get past him this time. Still tucked back in line for 3rd. He'll try it once again. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's almost like inside lane, these guys get real loose down there, and it just loses all the momentum that they have compared to that outside line, which guys seem to be a little bit more stable up there than they do down at the bottom, so they don't lose quite as much momentum and don't wash up the track as much. Snyder peeked that line there for a moment for 4th, but Ben Smith going to try and take over that 4th spot from him. Come down to the white flag for segment number 4, this time by. Here we go, Philip Von Voorhees, the race leader. Howard going to try it again in turn 1. Side by side again, dives it down there, just can't quite make it stick. But he's going to try and stay side by side as they head down the back straightaway for the final time in segment 4. Howard is there. Snyder trying to close the gap for 3rd. He'll take 3rd from Lewis Black. That's a key move right there as they come back to the line. Philip Von Voorhees wins segment 4. Howard, Snyder, Lewis Black, and Ben Smith, the top 5. So they will line up as we get ready to go to pit stops. We'll be back after this. Well, Joe Reynolds and Brennan Wolkowitz have had their run-ins before. Reynolds and Wolkowitz got together coming on pit road at Richmond, then at Sonoma, and then at Kansas last season during the chase race, and then tonight. It's not the first time those two have gotten together, and I'm sure it won't be the last. Here's the average finish of the 4 segments. Josh Slider will lead them to pit road. Philip Von Bories, John Williams, Lewis Black, TJ Howard. By virtue of those top 10 finishes in the first 3 segments, Joe Reynolds will line up in 10th as they come to pit road. This can be really interesting to see what kind of strategies we have here coming to this final pit stop. Kevin?
Top corner of the screen, Phil Von Bories says the car is right where he wants it, so expect the 4 team to do fuel only on the final pit stop. Dennis?
John Williams has worked his way back toward the front of the pack after the earlier pit mistake. Just a simple fuel-only stop here for the 88 team. Meanwhile, the 78 of Lewis Black will take 4 tires on this pit stop.
We'll be back to line them up after this. Coming down for the restart, Josh Snyder, John Williams will lead them back to the green flag here for the beginning of segment number 5. 10 laps to go in the All-Star Race. Caution laps do not count. We're underway once again. Snyder got a good restart right there in that 22 car. That's going to be hard to beat. Williams falls in line the second. Howard and Hunter Richardson battling for the 3rd spot as they are 3 wide back in the pack. I believe that's Matt Adams and Michelle Mossler and somebody else up there on the outside. As Williams battling to the inside of Snyder, just can't quite get there here as they come off the trouble turn 4. Brendan Wolkowitz is around. He'll collect Kirby Amons. Joshua Wilkinson backs it into the wall. Caution flag is out. 9 laps to go here in the All-Star Race. Oh, Casey Blanford just got nailed by somebody. I think that was Maria Jacoby. I have to take a look. Blake Turner involved in the 18. Kirby Amons in the 1. Urban Jacqueline, the fan vote winner that Joshua Wilkinson just went by on the outside. Nick Kustak, the winner of segment 1, involved. Here's a look. See, it's already started there. Hard to say from that angle. But then Valerie Cabanilla in the 10 and the 3 of Joseph Tanner just come back up the racetrack and the whole track comes blocked. I mean, that's the whole back half of the field. You won't believe how Nick Dilbeck got through this wreck. We'll take another look at it here and watch the 92, the orange car, coming in from the right half of your screen. Take a look here. It looks like Joshua Wilkinson got up there. He was part of that 3 wide and got into the wall. Came down into Brendan Wolkowitz that got him spun around. Valerie Cabanilla in the 10. And Joseph Tanner in the 3 go to the inside. Wolkowitz comes up, collects Kirby Amons. Dilbeck just goes sliding through here. Misses the entire wad of cars on the front straightaway. It doesn't hit a thing. Yeah, he did that down here in qualifying for the during the All-Star qualifying. He spun out coming to the checkered flag and did basically the exact same thing. Here's a view from Blake Turner in the 18. Now, I'm not so sure that Nick didn't hit the 18 going in there. Whoa. An issue there with the camera, it looks like. Here's another angle, Jay Fluke in the 42. And you see at that point, I think he got hit by somebody. But at that point, there's just nowhere for him to go. See, Brendan Wolkowitz pretty torn up. Marie Jacoby in the 6 there involved. Here's another angle. Yeah, and once Brendan Wolkowitz comes up across the racetrack in front of Kirby Amons, the whole track becomes blocked at that point. And same thing when the 10 of Valerie Cabanilla does. Casey Blanford there in the 20, the yellow car, there's the contact there where Maria Jacoby just plows into the back of that car. Little gold in the 5 involved as well. I think somehow Ben Malik in the 28 car missed all that as well. So under caution here from Charlotte for this, a multi-car crash on the front straightaway. We'll be right back. If you're just joining us, here's a race recap for the Corvega All-Star Race. Lewis Black and John Williams led the field to green back in segment number 1. Toward the end of segment 1, Cindy Warner got spun around in the 7 car and backed it into the outside wall. She eventually went to the garage area. She is done for the night and finished 27th. John Williams wins segment number 1 and then wins segment 2. He led the first 50 laps of this race, but all the luck ran out on pit road during the first mandatory pit stop. As they pit here, crew will go around to the left side of the car, and had a little trouble on that left front tire, changing it, and lost multiple positions as a result. Restarted in the 7th position during that restart for segment number 3. Josh Snyder won the race off pit road as a result that he took the lead, leading them to the green. Philip Von Voorhees took 17 laps to try and get by the 22 of Josh Snyder, and he did so in lap 17 of 25 for segment 3, and then eventually came around to win segment number 3. And then in segment 4, things starting to get a little active here. Joe Reynolds hits the apron, slides up the racetrack, goes around, collects Matt Adams. They all straighten it out for the moment. And then here comes Brennan Wolkowitz, the two that have had a rivalry since last season. And those two got together, sending Reynolds around on the back straightaway. That did not result in a caution, surprisingly enough. And we stayed green all the way through segment 4, where Philip Von Voorhees won again. Then Josh Snyder leads the field to the green for segment number 5 after that second mandatory pit stop, and on the restart, Joshua Wilkinson goes into the wall. He'll collect Joe Tanner and Brendan Wolkowitz, and that'll spark a multiple car crash, which is where we are at this stage, involving some 12 drivers involved in this crash. So here's the list of drivers involved. We've got Kirby Amons, Joseph Tanner, Williams, Jacoby, Cabanilla, Turner, Blandford, Wolkowitz, Jay Fluke, Nick Kustak, Joshua Wilkinson, and Nick Dillbeck. The majority of those either pitted, or a few of them did go to the garage as a result of this crash. In fact, Jay Fluke and Blake Turner, I believe, were some of the two that had some issues there. As we get ready for the restart, and because caution laps do not count in this final 10 lap segment, we will restart with 9 laps left in this race. Josh Snyder and John Williams once again lead them to the green. TJ Howard and Hunter Richardson are your top 4 as we go back to green at Charlotte. It'll be interesting to see now how this thing plays out with a little bit of a smaller field as a result of that big crash on the front straightaway. Snyder with a big push from TJ Howard. He'll make the lead. Down the back straightaway, Howard now second. Ben Smith trying to get by John Williams for third. Here comes Fred Martin in the 14 trying to make something happen up at the front of the field. He'll slip back a little off of turn 4. Howard now second, Ben Smith, John Williams battling for third. Come around this time by down the back straightaway. Penske cars out in front. Williams now looks to the inside for the second spot. Can't quite make the pass. This is going to be a good battle here, I think, for these guys coming up in the next couple of laps. Howard's got a pretty good car. I think he might have a shot to get the lead here from the Richardson peeks at a line, so does Howard. They go down to turn 3. And Howard tries to take the lead for just a moment, but can't quite get there. Richardson now to the inside of Howard, trying to take over the second spot. Got John Williams there in the 88 car. Nick Dillbeck has worked his way up to the 92. He's up here in 5th. We're going to go 3 wide here off of turn 2. Howard to the outside. Williams up the middle. Dillbeck going to try and come up the middle. There's a little contact, a beat and a shove. Somehow they all managed to make it work. I don't know how they made it through that turn right there. They all should have wrecked right there. Somehow they all hold on to it. And Dillbeck probably gained the most out of that. He'll be up to 3rd as he goes to the outside of John Williams to try and take the 2nd position. Now that 92 car, he came down pit road on that caution after spinning through the grass and got 4 tires, so he might be a little bit of an advantage. Let's take a look at this replay. 3 wide up the middle, tried to give John Williams a shove to take that position, and instead gives the 41 Hunter Richardson the shove. Now, Howard got loose and got up the racetrack, and John Williams and Hunter Richardson tried to take advantage of it at the same time, and Dillbeck, he has this huge run coming off of turn 2. Just tries to force the issue a little bit, and that could have been disastrous for all 3 of them right there. Back live as they come off of turn number 4. Dillbeck to the outside. John Williams will take over the 2nd spot now as they head down to turn 1 once again. And look at Richardson, he's just going to drive by Williams up there on the outside as well. Falls in the footsteps of 92. He'll move up to 3rd. Dillbeck on the back bumper of Snyder. Can he get to the lead as we close in on the finish here in the All-Star race? This is going to be close. I think that 92 might have a shot at it, but he just hit the wall off turn 4. Coming to 2 to go. Dillbeck and Richardson side by side for 2nd. Ben Smith to the inside of John Williams trying to take over the 4th spot. Can't make that pass work. Richardson now falls back to the Williams machine for 3rd. Dillbeck going to try it again here in turn 2, but doesn't pull out of line. He's just going to ride in the tire tracks of the 22. Doesn't look like hitting the wall really affected that car too much. White flag for the All-Star race. Can Josh Snyder win, or can Nick Dillbeck steal it from him in the final lap? Williams to the inside of 92. Can't complete the pass there. He's got one more shot at it. He'll get a shot right here. He'll be right on the back bumper of that 22 car as they come back around. He's got one last chance to do it. Dillbeck looks to the outside. He'll stay to the outside. Side by side, right down to the line. Here they come. Checkered flag. And it is Josh Snyder at the line by inches over Nick Dillbeck for the win in the All-Star race. What a finish. How about that? Almost got him. 6 1/1000ths of a second, the difference there at the line right there. Let's take a look at this. This is coming to 3 to go. This is Dillbeck hitting the wall. We mentioned that as they came back to the line. And then, here they come off turn 4 at speed. Little beat, little bang. Not quite enough to get the 22 at the line. What a finish. And that is how close it was. Just like the end of segment 1 in the showdown. And Josh Snyder in the 22 is your winner here tonight in the All-Star race. After a wild finish here tonight. Let's take a look at the race results. Josh Snyder wins. Nick Dillbeck comes home in 2nd. Hunter Richardson, John Williams, TJ Howard round out the top 5. Philip Von Borey, segment 3 and 4 winner, finishes 8th. Matt Adams back in 10th. Segment 2 winner of the showdown, Trent Barner, ends up 12th. Here's the rest of the field. Vanderbilt winner Urban Jacqueline ends up 19th. And then the rest of the field. This has been the Corvega All-Star Race. Special thanks for pit reporting from Gavin Jones and Dennis Mercereau, and from all of us, thanks for watching and have a great night.